He forced his wife to drink poison until their 12-year-old son did this. He had just been pushed off the stove by the man, who then turned around and placed a bowl of poison in front of his child. The man beat him every day at home, beating him mercilessly behind closed doors. When the villagers heard the commotion, they assumed it was just a couple arguing, and no one dared to intervene. He endured it year after year, afraid of gossip, afraid his child would be fatherless, afraid his family would fall apart and he would be ridiculed. Until that day, the man, annoyed that he had cooked late, kicked him, knocking him over, shattering the pots and pans. He got up, without crying or making a scene, silently found the hidden poison and prepared a bowl. The child, only 12 years old, trembled with fear, clutching his leg and crying. He stroked the child's head, only saying, "Mother is all right. Don't be afraid." The child clung tightly to his leg, refusing to let go. His heart softened, and he smashed the bowl on the ground, the poison seeping into the cracks in the mud. That night, the child stayed awake until dawn, his ear pressed against the door, afraid of hearing the sounds of beatings again. The next day, the man acted as if nothing had happened, sitting at the table eating and scolding him for pretending to be crazy and scaring the whole family. The child gripped his chopsticks tightly, his nails digging into his palms, not daring to utter a word. He knew he was too young to fight back or stop him, so he could only endure it. From that day on, he stopped playing and ran home as soon as he got out of school. If he heard any noise inside, he would deliberately shout loudly for his mother or smash dishes and bowls to interrupt the man's anger. Once, when the man was about to hit him again, the child rushed in, stood in front of his mother, glared at the man, and shouted, "Try hitting me again." The man froze, raising his hand to hit the child as well. Instead of backing down, the child picked up a brick from the ground, slammed it on the table, and shouted, "If you dare touch my mother, I'll fight you to the death." Seeing the ferocity in his son's eyes, the man withdrew his hand for the first time, hoping things would get better. However, the man's behavior escalated. He stopped hitting her, but remained cold and silent all day, refusing to work. All the housework fell on the woman's shoulders. The weeds in the fields grew wild. The water tank was empty. The firewood was gone. He cared nothing, only drinking and cursing. The woman worked during the day and cried secretly at night, her health deteriorating. The child, witnessing this, quietly made a decision. Every day after school, he went to town to work as a forestry worker, carrying goods, sweeping, and helping at stalls, never spending a penny. The villagers said the child was sensible, but only he knew he wanted to save money to take his mother away from home. Seeing the child always running away, the man thought he was going astray and secretly followed him to town. He saw the child carrying heavy loads under the sun, sweating profusely. The man stood in a corner, speechless for a long time, feeling a pang of guilt for the first time. But he couldn't bring himself to do it. Back home, he still kept the smelly curtain, but he never dared to show his displeasure again. The child didn't care what he thought. She continued to save money desperately until he was admitted to the town's middle school and could board at school. Every weekend when he came home, the first thing he did was check on his mother for any injuries. Once, he saw another bruise on her arm. Without a word, he packed his bags, intending to take his mother away. The man blocked the doorway, shouting, "What will I do if he leaves? What will happen to this family? The children are watching him. You've already beaten this family to a pulp." Just then, the woman pulled a cloth bag from her bosom. Inside were the money he had secretly saved over the years, and medicine the man had secretly asked someone to buy for his injuries. It turned out that although the man was fierce, his heart was already broken. He was just too proud to back down and didn't know how to make amends, so he resorted to emotional abuse to maintain the facade. He even secretly left pocket money for the child, but the child never noticed. The child paused for a moment, then shook his head. It wasn't that he wasn't soft-hearted. It was that his mother had suffered too much. Those wounds were etched into his bones and couldn't be erased by a few words of regret. The mother also shook her head and said to the man, "I don't blame you, but I don't want to go back." The man watched the mother and son leave, squatted on the ground, and cried out loud for the first time. He wasn't inherently bad. He was just trapped by his temper and pride, becoming the very thing he hated most. Later, the children settled down in the city, bought a small house, and brought their mother to live with them. The mother found an easy job in the neighborhood, and she was all smiles every day, her face regaining its color. She no longer had to live in fear. The man stayed alone in the old house, gradually changing his bad temper. During holidays, he would ask someone to bring him some local specialties, and he no longer disturbed their lives. A true home is not necessarily about having a whole family together, nor is it about enduring grievances to obtain an empty shell. It's about the people around you being safe and happy, about not having to be afraid or wronged. Don't waste your whole life on other people's opinions. Only by leaving the wrong person on time can you meet a better life.